Have you ever wondered if your own EDC gear might actually be working against you? Sounds crazy, right? But what if I told you that some of the most popular everyday carry items might secretly be setting you up for failure? In today's video, we're exposing the 5 most common EDC items and why they can turn into dangerous traps when you least expect it. Whether you're just getting into survival or you've been living the bushcraft lifestyle for years, there's a strong chance you've trusted at least one of these tools. And if you're not careful, it could betray you at the worst possible moment. This isn't just another gear breakdown, it's a wake-up call. So tighten your pack, sharpen your senses, and let's dive into the survival traps hiding in plain sight right in your pocket. Item 1, the too cheap to trust pocket knife. It looks tactical, it feels cool, and it was only $20 online. Sounds like a deal until the moment you actually need it. Cheap knives are one of the biggest EDC traps out there. They're built with poor quality steel, unreliable locks, and blades that lose their edge faster than you can sharpen them. One subscriber told us he tried to cut a seatbelt with one of these, and the blade bent like soft plastic. In a survival scenario, a failing knife isn't just frustrating, it's deadly. These knives can snap, misfire, or even close on your fingers. And yet so many people carry them thinking they've got a tool they can count on. Don't fall for it. A reliable blade doesn't need to be expensive, but it should always be tested. If your knife is so cheap you're scared to really use it, it's not worth carrying at all. Item 2. The flashlight that gives you away. Flashlights are supposed to keep you safe. But some models, they do the exact opposite. That strobe feature, that looks cool. It can light you up like a target from a mile away. We've heard stories of campers and preppers using tactical flashlights with buttons so sensitive they activate inside backpacks. Imagine thinking you're hidden, and your flashlight switches on by itself. Not good. And in a real-world emergency, fumbling through multiple light modes just wastes time. The smarter move? Choose a flashlight with a single high-quality beam and a simple on-off switch. It's better to be discreet than to show off. Your light should be a tool, not a flare signaling your position to whoever might be watching. Especially in urban survival or self-defense situations, stealth wins. And a good flashlight doesn't just illuminate your path, it protects your position. Item 3. Paracord. That turns into a trap. Paracord is a survival staple. But carry it wrong, and you've created a liability. Ever seen someone with 10 feet of paracord wrapped around their wrist or backpack strap? It looks smart, until the second they need it. Wet, tangled, or knotted cord can cost you precious seconds. And in an emergency, those seconds matter. Worse, that cord can snag on branches, gear, or even someone else, restricting your movement right when you need to move fast. We've seen it happen in training. The proper way? Pre-tie it into useful forms like lanyards, zipper pulls, or quick deploy hanks. And test your cord. Some cheap versions sold online are labeled as 550, but snap at a fraction of that tension. Always verify strength before trusting it with your life. In survival, shortcuts become traps, and paracord should never be something you hope works. It should be something you know works. Item 4. The multi-tool. You never really tested. Multi-tools look impressive, and some of them are, but others? They're shiny traps waiting to fail. We're talking about the ones with 20+ tools, most of which you'll never use, and all of which compromise on strength. The scissors barely cut, the knife is dull, the screwdriver slips. In one test, a subscriber told us their multi-tool folded inward while applying torque, cutting their hand mid-task. And in freezing temperatures? Good luck opening those tiny tools with gloves on. Here's the truth. If you haven't tested your multi-tool in a real-world task, like fixing gear, opening cans, or handling emergency repairs, you don't really know what it can do. Some tools become liabilities because we assume they'll perform when we need them. In survival, assumptions kill. Test your multi-tool. Push it to failure in practice so it doesn't fail you in crisis. Item 5. Tactical pens. That get you arrested. Tactical pens are everywhere. Sharp tip, strong metal. Self-defense marketing. Sounds perfect. But here's the catch. In many states, especially when crossing borders, they're considered concealed weapons. One viewer told us his tactical pen was confiscated at a courthouse, and security didn't care why he carried it. In certain regions, even carrying it into a government building can land you in legal trouble. These pens look aggressive, and that's the issue. In survival, blending in is sometimes more powerful than standing out. A discreet tool that doesn't scream weapon is often safer. If your EDC makes you a target to authorities, before you've even drawn it in self-defense, it's not helping, it's hurting. Choose gear that works without drawing attention. Survival isn't just about power. It's about staying out of trouble long enough to make it home. Looks great in photos. Slick angles, shiny gear, cool patches. But let's get real. Most of those loadouts are more about looks than logic. Heavy gear that never gets tested. Fancy pouches stuffed with tools no one knows how to use. It's a performance, and when the lights go out, that setup won't save you. Your EDC shouldn't be a fashion show. It should be a survival system. What you carry every day should reflect what you know how to use, what you've tested in real situations, and what fits your actual environment. A tool is only as good as your training. If your kit is built for show but not for go, you're not ready. Strip it down. Focus on function. And remember, survival isn't about gear, it's about what you do with it. So now ask yourself, how many of these traps are in your EDC right now? The truth is, survival isn't just about what you carry, it's about what you don't carry. It's about knowing which tools are legit and which ones are liabilities dressed up as gear. If this video made you double-check your kit, hit that share button and send it to someone who needs to see it. And in the comments, tell us, what's the worst EDC item you ever trusted? What failed you when it mattered most? We read every story because learning from failure is what turns a casual prepper into a real one. If you're serious about getting your gear right, we've got more breakdowns coming. Real tests, field reviews, and no-nonsense advice. Because your life might depend on it one day. Stay sharp, stay smart, and above all, stay ready.